And yeah, TW it over and over again. All right, so that was the clip. It says, "Stop it, leave me alone." I think the guy who's recording it kind of is taken back. He gasped. He like kind of like stops himself and like, I think that's what I'm hearing. I also kind of hear like a dog bark. But either way, this sounds very much like, I don't know, like an interpersonal relationship sort of fight. And so this was recorded the night of the murder. And it's a girl yelling, "Stop it and leave me alone." So it sounds like it's an argument between a couple. Like if I were to hear this, I would have thought it was a couple or something like that. But this guy said that he was waken up by it and he decided to record a bit of it. So let's just play this again. Thank you so much for being here. Wow. So again, this just sounds like somebody that they knew. It also kind of makes me wonder, like,
Okay,
why
so
did
this is where Joseph Morris
the
put.
roommates
Maximize it. So this is the Daily Mail report, okay? And he's speaking, and I'm going to play the recording to, not right now, but I just want to show where he edited it. Okay, so this is a Daily Mailer. So you see it says, "Meanwhile, a neighbor has come forward with new evidence. A blood-curdling scream had been heard in the night of the murders on November 13th. We were woken up in the middle of the night to a really loud disturbance from a neighbor. I managed to record a bit, but what I've heard, knowing what I know now, this ended up being huge evidence." That's what he edited. This next clip is the actual neighbor, Inan Harsh, that very clearly stated that there was never any type of recording and it is completely false and untrue. If you want to watch the full interview, go to the YouTube channel Hidden True Crime. This channel is a husband and wife team. She spent a decade as a reporter, and her husband is a psychologist and has been an expert witness for the federal government, and also has been doing and giving psychological evaluations since 1996.
Everyone, this is Lauren Matthias. Please subscribe and hit the like button so you can get these unexpected live streams. I have a very important guest with me right now, somebody that I hope can bring us more insight. I am with, will you pronounce your name? Inan?
Inan
Harsh, also known as Chef Dizzy, as you see there. Inan is a very, very important part of this Moscow homicide investigation because he was a neighbor of the 4 victims who lived on King Street. And I just want you to share with us what you know. Many also have heard of the neighbor that possibly heard a scream. This is that person that I have with me now. So I'll let everyone know this is going on, covering important cases.
There's some audio. I wanted to ask you this because you've come forward and said you may or may not have heard a scream. You're thinking about it now, wondering if it was a party sound you heard, or if it was an actual, scream you heard. There has been so much speculation going on, online and social media. I know you know that. You've been a part of that. We'll talk about that later. But there's been some audio making rounds of a scream. And I was just wondering if you could confirm that that was nothing you provided to any media anywhere, because a lot of people are trying to make connections there.
I didn't hear about it till basically people were telling me and things like this, and I was like, oh, LOL. Yeah, no, complete hoax. Yeah,
Okay.
I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
How many views has it got?
It's on multiple channels, so I couldn't even tell you how many views the screen has received because there's so many different outlets, not official outlets, but YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't record anything. I don't see how I would record something after I hear something unless I was already recording, which I wasn't. So
yeah. You've mentioned that you're an artist and that you're a chef. Do you ever stay up late doing your craft, working on things? Do you ever hear what's going on around the neighborhood ever? If you're up
Yeah.
late?
I mean, I don't know. No, I guess not. I mean, I usually listen to something, so I mean, I'm usually like zoned in on whatever I'm doing. But I guess it's kind of like on like the parties night. Like the like I don't know. The parties are kind of just like noise to me. So like I hear that, and like every once in a while, like I'll hear like somebody return home really late in the night. But I mean, it's like semi-normal, like 3, 4 a.m. Like that's not that late. People go over to people's houses and they hang out for a long time, and then they come home on the weekends. Like that's just like college life, I feel like. And like sometimes I'll just like listen to some music in my bedroom to like kind of like tune out like anybody who's like super super late or loud. Um, and then sometimes like you'll hear just like people walking down, like I don't know, sometimes yelling, but not like it doesn't happen like I don't know. It's not super super loud, but it's like it's campus, it's noisy. But I mean, it's like you can hear what's going on. I guess sort of like was close vicinity, but yeah, it's usually just noise. Like there's nothing like you want to listen to. I guess it's kind of weird. I guess like you can kind of like our walls are really thin, so like certain places you can hear like certain areas outside or inside, whatever. But I don't know. The place I think you can hear in that neighbor's house, I guess, is like in the house is like the yard. I feel like the yard is the place where you can hear the most things. Like so, if you were gonna hear something that happened at that house, it'd probably be the yard. Like I feel like the sounds inside, I'm guessing, wouldn't carry as much. Just because like again, I think that yard is sort of like almost an amphitheater set up a little bit. It's like it's got the hill and it's like down a little bit, and then above it is like the parking lot and another hill. So it's like I don't know, it's kind of like a meteor like hole in a sense. And so like I think probably like like in the middle the sound probably resonates around.
That makes sense. And you can call me Patches is also saying college towns are just noise sometimes. It's hard to tell what's what. A request for clarification. Back to the SUV one more time that you saw. Can you clarify?
I don't think
There's
so.
some confusion in chat. Okay, so you're saying you don't.
I don't know though. I
saw
don't. She drove a Ford. I don't know. Ford's not that luxury to me. I don't think I would have noticed that. I mean, it's a nice car, but I don't think it wouldn't stand out to me. I don't know. It just stood out to me because like I drive kind of a sketchy car, and it's kind of decked out, and it's like I don't know. I noticed like I've always been into like cars with like rims and tinted windows and stuff like that, and this was like one of those cars I'd be like, man, probably if I was younger and rich, I probably would have bought it. So I think that's why it stood out to me. But like, yeah, it just
Okay.
it kind of seemed like either a baller or like somebody's rich parents. That's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the speculation? Do you talk to neighbors? What are people saying about this? It's
No,
been 4
I'm
weeks
a
and then
hermit. I'm
this
super
case.
hermit. I don't
Okay.
really talk to anyone. I talk to a few of my really old friends. I talk to I hang out with my coworkers sometimes. Um, and most of the time I'm super busy in my crafts. Like I don't know. And I have like I don't know. There's like a girl I hang out with, and that's about it.
Okay. Okay. Um, does it make you nervous at all that this is unsolved? Do you feel
A
nervous?
little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, it's pretty brutal and like I don't know, thought out killing. I guess like it's like kind of scary, and it also kind of scary that it just happened to some ordinary people. So I think everyone's a little bit spooked now. You know what I mean? Like, I guess in the city, this shit's like semi-normal or whatever, but like not here. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. It's kind of scary that this would happen ever. Like, especially in this town. So.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like you think about it, it's like, what kind of protection can you get at these cases? Like, you can lock your windows, you can, like, put strips and stuff, you can get a gun, but, like, this dude, like, went in the house and killed them before they could really react. They grab a gun or whatever and left, and not anybody knowing, like, that's scary, you know what I mean? So, like, thinking about people doing that out, especially, like, on your block is pretty spooky.
Yeah. That absolutely it is. It's and thank you. Hello from England. We are so sorry to hear such a horrific crime. They said. Thank you so much. Have you talked to law enforcement since that first day they came over and asked you if you'd heard anything?
Yeah, I did once.
Once. Did they
Yeah.
come over to the neighborhood again to talk to everyone, or did you go talk to them?
No, I wouldn't. I just talked to them later.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about that, or is that
No,
off
not
the
really.
record thing? Okay.
That's off the record, Chef.
Thank you. And by the way, this is a channel where I will ask a lot of questions, but I also respect my guests. For those wondering if something's off the record or you don't ever want to answer, that's all you need to say and we move on. So thank you. You posted on your Facebook. I'm going here, by the way, to my phone to look at questions that I have written for you. And I'm also getting questions over in chat. While I look, you have mentioned on your own social media pages and even posted some of the proof that you've been getting harassed yourself and feeling the wrath of true crime sleuth and speculation. Can you tell us a little bit about that or what you've been going through?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of, it's kind of like the equivalent to like flat Earth theory to me when I like read some of these like Reddit conspiracies and shit. I don't know. I've been mostly ignoring it, but sometimes I read it and it gets to me, but I don't know. It's the other time it's just like it's almost entertaining to me, but it's a little bit scary too. I'm like, what are these people trying to get me? But it's whatever.
Yeah. Cheshire Cat is saying, are there cameras in the area? Do you think anyone might have been able to catch anything that happened?
I doubt very many. No, there's not a lot of thefts or break-ins or murders or really anything that happens here. A lot of people leave their doors unlocked, windows unlocked. It's generally pretty safe. Our apartment complex didn't even really have lights in like the hallway or cameras until like right after. Then they put up like some motion sensors and stuff. But like there's like for the most part this neighborhood's like pretty dark, and I kind of liked it. You know what I mean? It's like at night, like there's no lights, and you kind of go to sleep really easily. But yeah, I don't think very many people have cameras because they don't really feel unsafe in this neighborhood or whatever. Most people know people too, so it's like whatever. Yeah, it's not a really sketchy neighborhood, like just a bunch of college kids.